Hi there. So what does it take to become an everyday millionaire? In this video, I'm going to share 5 important things for you to consider or to do. But first, thanks for checking out my new channel. If you like what I share, please give me the thumbs up or perhaps even a thumbs down. But either way, please let me know what you think, and of course, subscribe to this channel. Now, over the past several years, I've interviewed, had discussions with, or coached literally hundreds of what I refer to as everyday millionaires. Every day out of the limelight, people who built a true net worth in excess of $1 million. Now, I define a millionaire as someone who has $1 million in liquidatable assets, not including their personal residence, because it's actually not easily liquidated. The math is just a simple formula based on what you own, as in the assets that you have, such as stocks, bonds, investment, real estate, precious metals, etc., minus what you owe, your debts or, of course, your liabilities, and that equals more than $1 million. Now, if that's the case for you, then you're a millionaire. That's it. Pretty simple, right? Now, while $1 million doesn't seem like a lot these days, especially if you watch social media where everyone seems to be rich, the reality is, and what most don't know, is that combined in Canada and the US, only 4 to 5% of the adult population are considered millionaires. So being a millionaire remains a pretty worthy goal, doesn't it? Now, in the world of social media, we're inundated by ads and people and programs that shine a light on the wealthiest 1%, which, by the way, is about $10 million or even more. Now, these are the stars, the CEOs, and the individuals we often see pictures of who are worth tens and even hundreds of millions of dollars or even billions of dollars. But here are some quick stats. Did you know, for example, that in 2022, barely 1% of the wealthiest people in Canada and US had a net worth of $11 million, or that the top 2% was $2.5 million, and it's just the top 5% who only had slightly more than $1 million in net worth. And the top 10% of net worth in Canada and the US in 2022 was only $850,000 approximately. Now that means that over 90% of our adult population has a net worth of less than $1 million. So, do you want to be a millionaire? A multimillionaire? What are your goals? Whatever they are, I'm going to offer you the insights and guidance I've learned from some of the quietest everyday millionaires you could ever meet. Many who have had some fame, such as authors and investors and business owners, but others who just quietly got to work and built amazing net worths. No lotteries, no Bitcoin home runs, no YouTube channels, but just everyday millionaires, people who quietly got to work and build an amazing and sustainable financial future, a legacy for their life and for their families. And that's what I'm going to grow this channel to be about. So I hope you enjoy what I've got to share. Now, the first thing I'm going to share with you is their lessons learned through the bumps and bruises. That's where I'll start to go. Losses and outright failures. And I'll even share some of my own lessons learned, all of which support you on your journey to being an everyday millionaire. Now, I'll start this video and this particular segment with just top 5 things that I've learned both personally and from my guests and clients along the way. First, you have to be prepared to fail, which means feeling or actually being judged by friends and families, coworkers, which are people you know, and then there will be people you don't know. And you need to look past that. You know, often when I'm talking to coaching clients, for example, I'll say, "What's your biggest fear?" And they'll say, "My biggest fear is of failure." And I invite them to consider that, is it really a fear of failure, or is it a fear of judgment from those friends, from those families? That can really stop people. So consider, what are your greatest fears? If failure is that, what are you really afraid of? Are you really afraid of the failure, or are you afraid of the judgment that comes with the failure? Okay, next, you're going to have to study a lot, which means you need to read and you need to listen a lot. You know, none of us know what we don't know, and reading opens up the door to learning more, listening to video and to audio. This all opens the door to knowledge and creativity and ideas for your growth. It helps you see your blind spots, and then it brings it to your awareness for you to change, and so that it serves you, and to look at the things that don't serve you. Now, all of my guests study leadership. and that takes time to learn how to be the best leader that they can be. I don't believe that great leaders are born. They don't just happen by accident. Great leaders study, and they study those others who they admire and who they share common values with. Now, speaking of values, do you know your top values, your top 5 values? Now, this is one of the most stepped over aspects of living a life by design, of building a great business, of being your greatest self. Ask yourself, what are your top values? Is your life and your career or your business, are they aligned with those values? Can you even describe them? Or are you living and working a career and running a business and surrounding yourself with people who don't share common values? Okay? Our goal is to build our businesses, to build our careers, to surround ourselves with like-minded individuals who share common values. Now, are you being a contribution to others, your team, your community? There's a saying that when your vocation is like your vacation, then you'll never work another day in your life. Well, being paid to be a contribution to others is what makes life fulfilling. Take the time to consider where you're being a contribution and where you're filling the gap, the need. What is the value that you bring to others? Now, if you've enjoyed this short segment, please subscribe, follow me as I share tips and insights for you to apply on your journey to being an everyday millionaire. Thanks for listening.